So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Gianluca Masi speaking from the Virtual Telescope Project. And it is for me such a truly big pleasure to be here to introduce this live online coverage, having the moon as our final destination. First of all, I want to thank you, all of you, for joining this live webcast. And during this journey, we will ideally bring you on the moon. This online event is happening as part of Global Astronomy Month 2017, and it is for me such a big pleasure to say that I'm proud to be here joining this great global celebration of the wonders of the night. It's for me a big pleasure also because I started cooperating with the Global Astronomy Month and Astronomers Without Borders, the organization who is taking care year after year to just to give to the world this great opportunity. I said I started cooperating with this organization as soon as they started their operations. And it was soon after the International Year of Astronomy. How many fond memories we have from that amazing, event, amazing year. Global Astronomy Month is back every year, bringing you the wonders, the beauty of the universe, also to help you to keep in touch and meet people across the borders. While we live in a planet with many different countries, different cultures, and so on, we are all the same sky. One people, one sky is the motto of Astronomers Without Borders. And I want really to thank my big friend and president of Astronomers Without Borders, Mike Simmons. I'm very sure that this idea of Astronomers Without Borders, and in particular Global Astronomy Month, will help people understanding, unveiling and discovering the universe, as well as just making friends across the borders. Tonight, we are leaving for a journey which is not that long as you are used to do with the virtual telescope. We are just going to the moon. Well, it is not just behind the corner. Reaching the moon is a journey a bit less than 400,000 kilometers, but still it is a big adventure. Yesterday we had scheduled the online Messier Marathon, but unfortunately we had to cancel it because of the clouds. But I really think that we will have a great marathon too. I just rescheduled it for April 12th. So save the date. You can check also the Virtual Telescope website for details. Anyway, I want now to start this officially because we really want to go to the moon. As usual, if you are an old friend of the Virtual Telescope, you are welcome, and you already know how this is going to work. You will see the telescope console, so we will capture together real-time images, so you will really see the moon as if you were at the telescope. And of course, I will try to give you comments, to give you some information about what we are seeing. But before starting, just giving you information and details, let me see if I can actually improve the focus of the telescope or not, because I just did everything, but as the temperature is dropping so fast, we had a lot of rain later this afternoon. I want to make sure that the telescope is really, really just at the best for our journey. Just checking the focus. It seems to me quite good, so I just will try. Let me see if I can check focus here. You see, I'm doing something astronomers do in real time with you right now. So this is also part of the adventure. I will also tell you a bit more about the virtual telescope, about Global Astronomy Month 2, while we will be leaving for the moon. But I want to be sure that we are really, really ready to have fun with the moon. I really don't want that the clouds come back and we see nothing. Anyway, let me check for one more time the focus. It seems good, at least reasonably good. I think that we can really, really go with this focus. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing here. So let's stop this focus check and let's ask the telescope to slew and point to the moon. You see here where we are looking. Let me see, first of all, what is above the virtual telescope. This is the whole sky, This is the computer just connected to the telescope, and from here we can ask to the telescope to point whatever we want. And you see right now the telescope is just pointed where you see the red, the yellow circle, that is where the telescope is pointing, and the moon, as you can see, is not far in the sky from where the telescope is pointing. Just to make things a bit easier for you, here it is. The telescope is pointing where you see the yellow circle, and the moon, of course, is where you see the red circle. I can try, let me see if I can just zoom a bit on this so that you can easily see much better where we are going to look. So just ask the telescope to go and point the moon. Here we are, friends. I just asked this, and the telescope is, of course, moving. At some point, you will see the yellow circle just reaching the red one, and this will mean that the telescope is now on the moon. Of course, I had to check that this has happened. I'm pretty sure that this happened, and I will take an exposure just to make sure we are doing things in the correct way. You will see that the image we will take now will show the moon, but it will be far from the ideal, because we need some adjustments to take care of the extremely high brightness of the moon. This is what I wanted to say. This strange pattern is just because the moon is extremely bright. So I will put a very strong filter really to kill that amazing brightness of the moon, and soon after this, I hope we will see much better. Here we are. At least we see something, but still we are not happy with the focus. And of course, I had to change this. I added the filter, and this changed the focus. It is also nice to see how frame after frame the moon is slowly, shifting, because the moon is slowly moving across the stars. Anyway, let me see if the situation improved. You see now that we have a much better focus, my friend. So I think that we can go with this nice image. So let me take the first image we will have tonight. I want to be sure that we will also save some of the images we will capture tonight, because I want some images for memories, And here it is. I think that this image is really, really nice. Let me see if I can bring this crater at the very center. And also, I have to set the proper motion, the apparent motion of the moon, to keep the moon centered. I'm just doing some technicalities here. And now I think that we can really, really start having fun, my friends. So again, I officially welcome you on the moon. We started our journey walking on the moon, offered by the Virtual Telescope on the occasion of Global Astronomy Month 2017, organized by Astronomers Without Borders. As you can see, our telescope has safely reached the moon, and I will start with you just to enjoy some of the amazing features of our satellite. I told you, the moon is our only natural satellite. It is there since you were born, of course. You always saw the moon there. It has been a constant presence for the Earth, even though the moon is a bit younger than the Earth. We believe that the moon was born about 4 billion of years ago. while the Earth very likely was born 4.65 billions of years ago. So right now we are just exploring its very ancient surface. And also, let me say this, the moon is the only astronomical object where we actually arrived. We were able to reach the moon more than 40 years ago, and it is really a shame that people around the globe is still blaming, saying that the first man, the man reaching the moon, was a fake. If there is a fake here, are those people saying that we never reached the moon. We went there and we were also back in great shape. Anyway, here we are with the virtual telescope, and I see that the moon is start showing in an amazing way, and I want to start showing you what we are seeing. Just to tell you a few names of these amazing features. You see here how the moon is really showing with its many subtle details. You have this big crater, which is not, close to the center, a bit on the bottom. This is a truly fascinating one, and I just want to help you also to tell the names of these things, because I think that this is also for us a nice opportunity to learn. First of all, if I can tell you, I would like just to, okay, I'm just trying to check. Okay, sorry. I want to show you some interesting feature. I see that the telescope is a bit right now giving some little problems. Not sure why. Okay, let me try again, my friends. Okay. There is right now a little problem with the remote connection, but I'm pretty sure we can fix easily. Let me see. I think this should be fixed by now. Okay, sorry, my friends. Here we are. The telescope is 100 kilometers far from me, and from time to time, it is possible that something is just going slowly. Anyway, here we are. I will just try to comment this little fragment of the moon where we see two big craters, one in particular, which is a bit bottom from the center with you see inside, you see it is very black, and it is the big and very famous Copernicus crater. I must say that Copernicus is one of the craters I really love more. So I'm also happy to show this to you. Copernicus, let me put it in the very center so you will be sure you know what I'm saying here. This is, as I said, Copernicus, one of the most famous features of the moon. You see, it is very nice, very sharp, and it is just on the border between light and darkness on the moon. This is why you see that the bottom of the crater is still very dark, simply because the sun is just rising above that crater. And of course, the sun cannot reach at this moment the bottom part of the crater. It will do the next days. Copernicus is a very big one. Its diameter is a bit less than 100 kilometers, so it is truly a big crater. Let me take another image, and I also want to underline that images are coming live. This is a bit better, you see, because the atmosphere is, with its turbulence, sometimes is just blurring the details, and sometimes it is showing the details a bit better. And this image, to me, is a bit better. You can see much better now the details of this stunning Copernicus crater. As I told you, it has a diameter of a bit less than 100 kilometers, you know. Of course, we have more. I want to also to show you, I'm just going to put it in the center, another nice crater, one of my favorite craters, you know. It is a little smaller than Copernicus, but still a very impressive feature. It is Eratosthenes, another very famous crater. I understand that people just observing the moon night after night, they know all the crater names right away, so they can really say a lot about the names of the features you see on the moon. Anyway, Eratosthenes and Copernicus, which is still visible here on the bottom, are by far two of the most famous and most beautiful craters you will ever see on the moon. And this one, as you can see, even by directly comparing it to the Copernicus, it is a bit smaller. And if Copernicus was barely 100 kilometers, this is about 60 kilometers. And it is also impressive to mention that the height of the crater, I mean, the walls just making the craters are quite high, and they are estimated to be really more than 1,000 meters, of course. And I think that this is also a very interesting feature. I'm always amazed every time I look at the moon. I'm never disappointed. I can even see the moon hundreds of times, but also it will look like the first time I saw it. It is just an amazing, stunning vision, you know. But let's continue, this amazing journey. And you can easily see how here you have some sort of waves in the soil, in the lunar surface, you see. And of course, those features reveal that the lava, which made those black, apparently flat, big areas that we call seas, mari in Italian, are just like frozen lava. They are truly amazing, with plenty of details when the light is just coming with a very small angle, like at sunset on the moon. This is why it is very rewarding to observe the moon, even with a little telescope, and concentrate on the border between light and darkness on the moon, you see. Here we are very close to the Mare Imbrium. So this is truly a great, amazing region of the moon that it is very rich of details. I really love this part of the moon. Of course, many features have Latin names. Mare Imbrium just means sea of showers, okay? And the name is due to Riccioli, and it dates back to 1650, more or less. So we are just going back to the age of Galileo, basically. And you can see here so many impressive features that you can observe even with very small telescopes. And to me, this is something that should push you to go out there and try yourself observing, you know. Also here, there is another nice crater that I want just to put possibly in the center, if I can, just to help you recognizing what I'm referring to. Okay, this one is the crater Timocharis, which is, of course, even smaller of the previous two ones we saw. This is more or less 35 kilometers in diameter. Let me take a new image Not sure it will be better. Likely it can be worse because the weather here, okay, not that bad. You can see how the image refreshes because, of course, the turbulence is always in action. And this is Timocharis, you see. And you see also all around a huge number of smaller craters. And they can be even a few kilometers, 10 kilometers, okay? And there is also another wonderful crater I really always love to observe. Well, I see that just we slew the telescope to a very rich portion of the moon. The crater you see in the upper part of the frame, which is quite big, is Archimedes, again another large crater. More or less it is about 80 kilometers, so it is a big feature. And as you can see, as the bottom is apparently flat, I want to try to put in the same image both Archimedes, if I can, and also Copernicus. Let me see if I can do this or not, because I really want to show you the effect of the solar light that I discussed earlier. I think I just to reduce the magnification here. Oh, okay. You can see, wow, amazing. On the left, on the bottom left, again, the big, outstanding Copernicus, you see. And the bottom of Copernicus is really dark because the sun is still not reaching the bottom of Copernicus. It is just rising over it. While on the upper part of the image, you see, more or less of the same size, the Archimedes crater. And you can see how the light is clearly just reaching the bottom of Archimedes. I just wanted to make sure that here you could easily see what I was saying. That is, the sun is reaching the bottom of the crater when it is high above the crater. In other words, on Copernicus, the day is just beginning, you know. And the day on the moon is more or less 1 month in length. So we can start, we can continue, and I cannot, of course, go away from this portion of the moon without mentioning this wonderful, very beautiful mounds you see here. I just made them visible in the center. And those are, of course, the Apenninus mounds. They are extremely famous. And of course, in Italian, I can be easily happy with the feature, just remembering the Apenninus mounds we have on in Italy, in central, okay, along the whole Italy, even close to the virtual telescope. You know, the virtual telescope is located in central Italy, about 100 kilometers far from Rome, and not far from where we are observing from the Apenninus mounds that we are observing in the lunar version, you see. Happy that we are going so far in a great way. And this is one of the features I started recognizing since the beginning, since I started observing through a telescope, you know. And these mounts are really long. This chain is really long, about 1,000 kilometers. It is spanning, it is just running for such a long portion of the moon. And I also want to show you the full, even if less magnification, the full image I have, just to make sure that we are not missing intriguing object, intriguing, interesting details. Wow. Even if I'm just trying to find a way, okay, to show all this at their best. Here we are just observing some new features. Okay, you still see Copernicus on the very left now. And I think that no matter where you look, you always see really great things. Now, the crater we have in the very center here, at least considering as I have set the image, it is another interesting one. It is named Pallas. And as you can see here in the center of the image, you can see like the number 8, like the infinite sign, I mean. They are two craters kissing each other. The one on the left with the central peak is Pallas, as I said, while the other one on the right is Murchison. And they are looking very nice. I love looking at the moon anytime, my friends. But let me see if I can just focus your attention to another feature. Here it is, that it is always worth to observe. But let me reduce here, so it is much easier for me to put something in the center so that you can easily see. Okay, if you now look at the center, this time I will try to enlarge a bit more, you can see a very small crater, okay, which is apparently crossed by a fracture, a line. It is the Hyginus crater. And that fracture, it is named Rima Hyginus, of course. They are truly famous features to all the usual lunar observers, you know. But I really like the Hyginus as well. Let me put back the original magnification so we will not lose quality. And I see I cannot leave the moon even if I'm just trying. Let me see if I can adjust contrast and brightness a bit more. So let me ask the telescope now to track the stars, not the moon anymore. So in principle, this will help a lot us just to surf the moon in a very natural way. You will see what I mean here. Okay. I love this. And I also love how the moon is now slowly shifting from the right to the left, you know. This is happening because the moon is, of course, orbiting around the Earth. It takes less than 1 month for a full circle for a full orbit. Okay, this is the period. And of course, the telescope now is not tracking the moon as it did until a few seconds ago. This is why image after image, you are apparently seeing this shift. This is simply the motion of the moon in real time. I really like this kind of experience, and it is great for me to share all this during Global Astronomy Month. I really love the idea to bring the wonders of the universe down to Earth and celebrate all together, no matter the borders on this planet, the wonders of the universe where we live. And the virtual telescope will be always very proud to supporting these astronomers without borders, my friends. As you can see, we are really, really slowly moving on the moon, and there are new craters arriving, entering the field of view, as you can easily see. How wonderful this is. I would like to go, let me see if I can ask the telescope to move a bit, as I want to go and visit another very famous crater of the moon, Plato. Here it is. Wow, my friends. Let's ask the telescope now again to track the moon. And you will see that now the images, even refreshing, will not show a shifting moon because the telescope now is tracking the moon. Oh, sorry. I have to, first of all, ask the system again to select the moon, my fault. Here it is. Now you will see by now. Okay. Let me see. Wow, I really can stay hours looking at this very spot of the moon. Let me see if I can simply adjust. Okay, my friends. All this is happening in real time, so I'm sorry from time to time it requires a few seconds more, but they said this is the good of real time observing. Okay. Let's see if I succeeded just moving the telescope a bit on the bottom. Yes, so that we can really enjoy much more this portion of the moon. So we are looking, okay, just a bit. I know that as I want to put also more craters inside the field of view of the telescope right now. Here we are, I think. I did all this because right now I have many Greek craters inside the same image. Not far from the center, I just want to enlarge it again. We have our old friend Archimedes, okay? But if I go on the top, on the very top of the image, you can see so well, and let me try to enlarge it a bit. Here it is, one of the most beautiful craters you will ever see. This is just amazing. This is Plato. This is one of the most evident features of the moon. Plato is truly outstanding. As you can see, its diameter is more or less 100 kilometers, not very different from Copernicus, you see. This is why at this time, at this point, I start thinking you can also recognize some things like the dimensions by yourself. And I really invite you to look how the right, okay, border of the Plato crater is just sending the shadows on the bottom of the crater. And you see also from time to time how the wind can also corrupt the image. And this is a truly lovely vision, my friends. Let me see if I can just enlarge this a bit. So this lunar panorama is simply breathtaking. How beautiful, my friends. The moon is the moon. Never tired to look at it, never tired to share it via the Virtual Telescope project. As you can see, there are many, many features all around. It is basically impossible to list all of them. But I will go and see Plato even better. But let me come back to the south. I mean, on the bottom of the image, so that you can see here, at least I tried this, always adjusting this in real time, my friends. I just want to make sure that you can see here the beautiful region of Mare Imbrium. As I say to you, this is truly amazing. The Sea of Showers. You can see the Montes Apenninus. Okay, on the very bottom you see a very beautiful Eratosthenes with also its central peak. Then you see in the center of the image Archimedes, which has his inner region almost completely under the sunlight. And on the very top of the image, you see the always amazing and elegant Plato. And all around, on the right of Plato especially, you can see the Montes Alpes, the Alps. Again, some Italy on the moon, you know. But let me see if again I can show you this at lower magnification, just to be sure that you can easily see how beautiful is this part of the moon. This apparently flat area, the one on the left, apparently just bordered by the Apenninus and Alpes, is, as I say to you, Mare Imbrium, okay? And it is extremely, extremely beautiful. But let's try and go. Let me see if I can just ask the telescope to go closer to Plato. Let's make Plato wow. I hope that you like this. Truly amazing, my friends. Of course, I also want to show you this nice couple of craters in the center. They are Aristillus, the larger one, and Autolycus, the smaller on the bottom. And of course, on their left, you still have Archimedes. I also want to show you this nice object here, this nice crater, and I will try to take an image right away of this amazing portion of the moon. The one in the very center, you see, is Cassini. And as you can see, there are many other craters all around. We are just moving a little, and we see many, many new things, friends. Let me see again if I can move a bit more, you know. And okay. Okay, let me adjust the telescope to, first of all, let's reduce the magnification so I can keep control of almost everything when moving the system, you know. Okay. Hope that you are really enjoying this. This is a very beautiful sight. I love when you look at the moon with the telescope and you see the border just giving you this three-dimension idea, three dimensions, you see. It's truly amazing. Fantastic sight. Let me see if I can take an image. I mean, we are taking live images, but I also want to make sure that I save one of them. This is an amazing landscape, you know. Let's keep Plato. Really stunning details. Really amazing details. Okay, let me see if I can show you. These two craters you see here, in this close to the center, I mean, they are, the bigger is Aristoteles, and the smaller, a bit below, is Eudoxus. Eudoxus is about 70 kilometers in diameter. Aristoteles is a bit more, almost 90 kilometers. I love this portion of the moon, really. And here it is almost impossible to see all the features, all of them. Okay, let me see again if I can have the moon sliding. Sorry. Let's put Aristoteles more or less in the center, and then let ask the telescope to take images back to back. Okay. So I think that moon now should shift. Again, as it is moving around us, you know. I really can stay looking at this for a lot of time, you know. We are approaching the end of this journey. Let me see again if I can suddenly move the telescope. This is just amazing. I would like to try very special to find a very special portion of the moon to celebrate the first man who reached it. Let me see if I can find this place. I think I found them. Well, not Aldrin and Armstrong, but we are not far from the place where they landed. Okay, let me see if I can adjust the contrast. Okay. So more or less, I will try to put in the center the place where more or less the Apollo 11 touched the moon. Right now, in the center of the image, we have the place where the first astronauts landed when reaching the moon. Well, let me see if I can adjust the focus a bit. Not sure it is just windy or what. Amazing sight. I don't think this is a focus question. It is simply the wind, it's simply turbulence after. Anyway, let me take a picture of this. Just for to share with our friends. And I see that the thing is not best thing possible anyway. But we were lucky that at least it was clear, my friends. So, with this particular landing, I mean, at least we landed with our eyes, we just kissed the moon where the astronauts, as I say to you, the Apollo 11 people reached the moon for the first time. Now, I want again the telescope here will actually leave the moon until we will be out of the moon. This is amazing, the many features you see all around. This is something never really boring the observer. And of course, this live observing session of the moon was offered by the virtual telescope, as I say to you, as part of Global Astronomy Month, something that we really wanted to share with everyone loving the moon and loving the universe. As you know, the virtual telescope has other online events scheduled for Global Astronomy Month. Of course, we will reschedule the online Messier Marathon as we really want to make sure that everyone will have a chance to explore the whole Messier catalog with plenty of amazing objects. The Virtual Telescope Project invented the online Messier Marathon on 2009 on the occasion of the International Years of Astronomy, and we are very happy to schedule it year after year now. But you know, weather is not always the best friend, and from time to time, you have to cancel and reschedule. And as I say to you, the online Messier Marathon has been rescheduled for April 12. Anyway, I strongly suggest you to visit the www.virtualtelescope.eu website to learn more about the virtual telescope and also to see when new cosmic adventures, especially for Global Astronomy Month, are scheduled and ready to bring you out there surfing the universe. I want to thank you, everyone here. I want to thank you also Astronomers Without Borders for taking care of organizing for many years now Global Astronomy Month, and I want to thank for this my friend and president of Astronomers Without Borders, Mike Simmons. And I'm very proud to serve as the national coordinator for Italy for Astronomers Without Borders. Well, friends, that's all. I hope that you had a great time with the moon, a great time with us, but it is just the beginning, and don't miss what the Global Astronomy Month is bringing to you. And check www.astronomerswithoutborders.org. That's all, and see you soon for the next cosmic journey offered by the Virtual Telescope. Good night from Italy by Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope.